Why do American stories love the lone wolf hero? The man with a gun, haunted by trauma, who trusts no one but will do anything to protect the people he loves. And why, in Europe, would someone like Joel from The Last of Us be seen not as a hero, but as a dangerous relic? Let's explore what Joel tells us about American culture and why his story might land very differently across the Atlantic. Joel isn't just a character, he's a cultural symbol. In The Last of Us, he's the classic American father protector. Scarred by personal loss, shaped by violence, and hardened by survival, he becomes a human shield, brutal but loving, distant but fiercely loyal. This isn't new. Joel is part of a long tradition in American fiction, the rugged individualist. Think of Clint Eastwood in Unforgiven, John McClane in Die Hard, even Batman. These are men who operate outside the system, often because the system has failed them. In American stories, the hero doesn't wait for society to fix things. He acts, he protects, he survives, even if it means breaking the rules. And the audience, they're often invited to admire that. This obsession with the lone protector isn't just a storytelling trope, it's cultural. The US was built on frontier mythology. The idea that the individual, alone against nature or enemies, could carve out a new life. Freedom, self reliance, and distrust of authority are foundational values. And in American pop culture, especially post 9/11, the protective father, often armed, emotionally closed off, but deeply committed, has become almost sacred. Joel fits this mold perfectly. His violence is justified by love. His decisions are extreme but necessary. Even when he lies to Ellie at the end of season 1, denying her agency, her sacrifice, we're not told to condemn him. We're told to understand him. Now flip the script. If Joel were the protagonist of a French, German, or Scandinavian drama, would we still root for him? Probably not. In European fiction, violence is rarely romanticized. The lone wolf is often not a hero, but a warning. Isolation is seen as a tragedy, not a virtue. Obsession with control, especially paternal control, is suspect, sometimes even authoritarian. In a Danish series, Joel's choices might be framed as morally gray at best, abusive at worst. A Swedish writer might explore the emotional cost of Joel's trauma, or critique how his masculinity isolates him from meaningful connection. In Italian neorealism or French cinema, the focus wouldn't be on justifying Joel's actions, but on questioning them. At the core of this contrast is a deeper cultural difference: individualism versus collectivism. American culture often emphasizes personal freedom, autonomy, and the moral right of the individual to protect what's theirs. European societies, while diverse, tend to place more value on social cohesion, negotiation, and institutional trust, even if imperfect. The idea of one man taking justice into his own hands is often seen not as heroic, but dangerous. That's why in European post apocalyptic fiction, like 28 Days Later or Children of Men by European creators, though with global reach, the focus is less on lone heroes and more on fragile alliances, communities, or reluctant cooperation. Joel isn't just fighting zombies, he's fighting the fear of losing control, of losing family, of losing identity in a collapsing world. In America, that fear often translates into personal solutions. Arm yourself, close ranks, protect your own, even if it means lying, even if it means killing. In Europe, similar fears might inspire very different responses, less about domination, more about endurance, less about I'll protect you, and more about we need to survive together. The Last of Us is a powerful story, but it's also a mirror. And what you see in that mirror depends a lot on where you're standing. So, what do you think? Is Joel a hero? A father doing his best? Or a man blinded by love and fear? And would you see him differently if you weren't raised on American myths? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoy these deep dives into pop culture and cultural identity, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you in the next one.